Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step-by-step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Corley. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and now it's time to get started. Hey, I have a question for you. Are you feeling really overwhelmed and confused when it comes to manifestation? And do you feel the pressure to do what everybody else wants you to do, but you're not even able to figure out what you want for yourself? Or are you living a high-stress lifestyle and you need a way to create calm within the chaos? If you answered yes to any of these questions, my app Affirm It is here for you. I've designed the app to support you through the dark and the light moments of life without judgment or overwhelm, because I 100% know what it feels like to be there. I've made this app to help you create your spiritual practice using affirmations, manifestation, and spirituality, and truly the app will be there for you no matter what you're going through. It's helped thousands of women on their journey, and it's only $4.49 a month to join. So start your free trial and download it in the App Store today. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Affirmation Addict podcast. This is Payal, and I am going to be talking about how to create a consistent spiritual practice. So something that I want to talk about is, what is a spiritual practice? Why does it matter? Especially if you're listening, you are probably into affirmations and manifestation. So what does a spiritual practice have to do with this? And truly, I've been reflecting a lot on what a spiritual practice means to me. And for me, a spiritual practice is a way for me to connect to myself, connect to the universe, connect to whatever I'm calling in, and just do a self check-in. And I personally think self-awareness, checking in with ourselves and consciously working on ourselves is the most important thing on our spiritual journeys as well as our manifestation journeys. So that's my kind of personal definition of what a spiritual practice means to me. I think you get to pick your own definition. So if you want to take a moment and pause and just really define what is your spiritual practice and what does that mean for you. Maybe you don't know it yet. That's the whole point of this episode. But what does it mean for you? So feel free to grab a journal or write this down on your phone, just to give yourself space to actually think it through, you know? And so some talking points for spiritual practice, they're kind of random, but one thing I think that is important is consistency. And the thing about consistency, I think we all know that ideally we're consistent with things, but life happens, and it's not like I can every single day sit down and write my affirmations, or every single day I might not be able to meditate. It's hard to get to that point. So what I mean by consistency is not that you have to do every single element every single day. What I mean by consistency is 30 seconds of just checking in with yourself, or even 5 seconds of checking in with yourself is an act of consistency. And maybe the next day you spend 10 minutes listening to a guided meditation. Consistency to me, and I think for a lot of you, doesn't necessarily mean every single day you have to spend 30 minutes on your practice. I think it can mean every single day, whether it's 1 second or 1 hour that you're able to dedicate. And it can be quick. I think sometimes we feel like it can't be quick, and then we put ourselves in a shame cycle where it's like, oh my gosh, I missed a day. Am I screwing this all up? Am I not manifesting? And we just start to freak out. And I really want that pressure to be released. I want you to feel that this is possible. Like, I want you to feel motivated and inspired rather than discouraged because you are creating some long and crazy spiritual practice. I want you to realize that your spiritual practice is allowed to be what you want it to be. So that's my thoughts on consistency. My other thought that I think that comes in the way, very similar to what I've already talked about, is starting small. I think we judge ourselves a lot when it comes to our spirituality and what we see on Instagram and what we see people doing. We think that our practice needs to be super aesthetic and it has to be photogenic and we have to be in a beautiful beach in order for it to count, so to speak. But honestly, like, your spiritual practice can be done while you're walking to get your morning cup of coffee at your favorite cafe. Like, that counts. It doesn't have to be something you post about. It doesn't have to be something that the whole world knows you're doing. It's honestly for you. And that's the biggest thing, is it can be small and it can be simple. It doesn't have to be this robust thing. So lastly, I don't want you to overcomplicate it. I am going to share a few different techniques. I'm going to share a foundation that I use, and it's a simple foundation, but if that's too much, don't feel like you have to do all of it. Don't feel like you have to stick to the entire foundation, because I want you to feel like you can do this. So I wish I could just talk to each one of you and be like, okay, realistically, what can you do? So I'm going to give you some options, and I'm going to give you a lot of options. And if that's overwhelming, I'm sorry in advance. I just hope I can target you based off of like what you're currently going through. I know some people might have the full hour, and I know some of you might have like only 30 seconds. And I know that feels ridiculous, but don't judge yourself if 30 seconds is all that you can commit to right now. Like, what matters is that you're committing, right? What doesn't matter is how long and how you do it. So for me, my spiritual practice is completely based off of everything I always talk about. So I talk about affirmations, I talk about meditating and visualizing, and I talk about journaling. Those are my 3 areas of a spiritual practice. And actually, all of these are what I've created for you inside of Affirm It. So my kind of tidbit for you to help with the consistency is to leverage my app. And I'm going to talk about the spiritual practice in the form of Affirm It, because everything is there for you. The reason I'm sharing Affirm It is because I have spiritual practices in there no matter what you're going through. I think I've covered every single thing I can possibly think of. If you're manifesting your dream home or your dream job, or if you're just trying to navigate fear and you're feeling uncomfortable for a day. Because the thing is what you need to do on your spiritual practice might change every day based on how you're feeling. Maybe today you're excited to manifest your dream job, but tomorrow you're just trying to get over your anxiety and you're trying to feel better. So that's why I'm going to lean very heavily on Affirm It, which is my app. Link is in the show notes if you want to check it out, or if you already know about it, you know where to go. That's why, because I really think we forget that our spiritual practice changes based on how we're doing every single day. And our life is always changing and energy is always in motion. So you might not pick the same thing to listen to or the same affirmations every single day, because you are a changing being. And maybe your desires are changing, or maybe your needs are shifting. So that's why I'm heavily leaning into Affirm It for this, so that I can help you through all the different things that you're going through, you might be changing through. Okay, so my foundational practice is affirm, listen, and journal. There are some bonuses. There are some things you can add. However, let's start there. So when it comes to your affirmations and affirm, my recommendation is to find a collection inside of Affirm It, or find your favorite affirmations and pick 10 of them. The way you do practice affirmations is you can either literally simply swipe through them on the app. This is kind of where that 30-second timeline comes in, is if you can't do anything, open up the app, pick a collection, and just swipe through and read mentally. Like, that is beautiful and that is so powerful. I can't tell you enough how much I do that throughout the day. Or if you have a little bit more time and you're feeling a little bit more inspired and you want to do this, go through those same affirmations and write them down. Write them down in your journal. I recommend starting with 10. You can always do more. You can always do less. And it's okay if you have different affirmations or the same. My recommendation, once again, is picking 10 affirmations in a certain collection that day. You might not pick that collection, that group of affirmations the next day, and that's okay. So in short, it's okay to have different affirmations every day. Your intentions are there. And I think having different affirmations helps you move with the energy that you're always building up and that you're always up leveling. So it helps you grow as you affirm rather than being stuck in one spot. So quick recap for affirm is to find a collection of affirmations, pick 10 and either read through them or write them down. Okay, that's your practice part 1. This takes about 2 minutes, whether you're reading or writing. It's very short. Next is to listen. So inside of Affirm It, I have guided affirmations that you can listen to effortlessly. So this you can listen to while you're doing something else. It's effortless and automatic subconscious reprogramming. You literally just hit play and you are manifesting. You are in the process of reprogramming. So it's very, very powerful, very cool. You can do it at any point throughout your day. Even when you're sleeping, you don't have to consciously be listening to the guided affirmations. I also have guided meditations and guided visualizations. Those you can listen to consciously so that you can actually take yourself to a different place. And I recommend picking one that resonates with you that day. Even if it's not directly related to what you're manifesting, maybe you want a guided affirmations or a guided meditation for just feeling better. Maybe it's not to manifest that dream job, right? All of my affirmations, meditations, and visualizations to listen to are under 10 minutes. So let's call it 10 minutes just in case. So far, the practice is at 12 minutes and those 10 minutes can be effortless. So they can be done while you're multitasking. So technically, so far, we're having a 2-minute practice. And lastly, if you feel like you want more, is journaling or reading through a guide or practicing a ritual. So these are totally up to you. And it's in your journal that you can actually go through journaling techniques to help you unlock things that might not be making sense to you. You can dig deeper because maybe you don't know what's in your way. These journaling techniques will help you figure out what is in your way, and they'll help you get a different layer of yourself. The manifestation practices are different ways for you to send energy to your manifestation. These are not necessary, but they're really fun if you feel like you need something physical to do. So journaling is really great if you feel like the affirmations are not enough, or you feel like just listening to a meditation is not enough. If you need something physical on 3D to do, you need this part 3. So this I would give around 10 to 15 minutes because it depends on how long you want to dive into it. So far, and this is actually the end of the practice, we have affirm, listen, and journal, one of which is optional. The other one, which you can do automatically. So that is what I recommend. So a quick recap is writing down your affirmations or reading them inside of the app, listening effortlessly to guided affirmations or consciously to a meditation or visualization. So the last thing is journaling, which is that physical practice if you need something tangible to feel like you're actually doing something. So your spiritual practice, I recommend going off of this guideline of affirm, listen, and journal, and drop the journaling if it's too much and just start with affirmations. And minimum, what you can do is you can just swipe through the affirmations on your phone. And if you're like, Pyle, how am I going to remember? How am I going to actually do this? Like, how do I remember to go into the app? I literally set affirmation reminders in the app. So worst case, say you do none of this. I have a feature in the app where you pick your favorite affirmations. You can do this for unlimited affirmations and they pop up on your phone like notifications. So literally you are effortlessly reprogramming, because think about how many notifications we get. Those are all imprinting messages and information on our subconscious. So say out of those 20 notifications that are emails and your delivery order, what if one of them is an affirmation that reminds you that you're worthy? How good would that feel? So worst case, say you do none of everything I just said. If you set those reminders and you just look at them and they just cross your mind for a second, that is enough to start. And the more you see them, the more you'll be motivated to get inside of the app. You can just click it and that can be your way to tap into the app and read through some more affirmations. And so that is really how I recommend creating a spiritual practice with Affirm It. I know this became like a big, let me teach you how to use Affirm It, but I honestly truly believe in it. And I think it's such a helpful way to build and actually execute on a spiritual practice. I think it's very easy for me to just tell you on Instagram, here's this, try this, but it also gets overwhelming. It's like, what affirmations do I do? What meditations should I listen to for this? How do we know it's going to help you, right? How do you know what content? How do you know which pieces to pick for what you're going through? And so if you're looking for specific structure on, Pyle, can you please tell me what affirmation collections should I read? What guided affirmations and guided meditations should I listen to? And what journaling you think will help me? Then actually just DM us. We have an Instagram, not on Affirmation Addict, but DM us on Affirm It app. We have these little collages we made. I'm so excited because it's like your little recipe for your spiritual practice, depending on what you're going through. And so we'll give you suggestions to try out. And the biggest thing I recommend is as you're trying out these curated suggestions is to stay committed to it and try and notice how you feel. Because if you're looking for the result, honestly, you're subconsciously pushing away the result. I guarantee you that you will receive the result, but if you keep looking for it, because of the way law of attraction works and manifestation works, you'll unconsciously and unintentionally be pushing it away because searching creates more searching. Fundamentally, that's how law of attraction works. So as you're doing this, and I have affirmations to help you stop searching, to help you create beliefs. We have all of that in the app. But my biggest recommendation is give yourself the time to enjoy the spiritual practice. If you do the spiritual practice with the energy of just getting a quick fix or getting a result, it won't work. The spiritual practice has to feel good for you. So maybe your spiritual practice is just about feeling good, and that's all. And then you can evolve because it's such an energetic thing that there's so many nuances where we might be accidentally pushing things away. And one of the biggest things is we accidentally push away when we're looking way too hard. So don't do the spiritual practice with the intention of only manifesting. It can be part of your intention for sure, but don't feel discouraged that every single day you do your practice and then you're like, where's my manifestation? Because then you're just going to push it away. So maybe do this practice and just notice, how are you feeling? Like, do you feel a little bit better? Because that is powerful, because the better you feel, the faster you'll manifest, the faster your manifestations will come into your life. Because think about it, your manifestations, we assume will feel better when they come in. So if you can start to feel better now, you will start to attract those manifestations where you think you'll be feeling better. So it's a win-win. It's just a very backwards and contradicting way to look at it. And it's kind of just playing with the way your mind is working and playing with the thoughts that are coming in and helping yourself navigate those. So these spiritual practices and these tips will really help you navigate that. And truly, this spiritual practice, this foundation I've set up is what has helped me manifest every single thing in my life. And it's what's helped me evolve. It's what's helped me manifest Tom. It's what's helped me manifest multiple dream jobs and my career and the app and my dream home and honestly just feeling whole. So I still lean on these spiritual practices for whatever else I'm working on, whether it's emotional or physical. These spiritual practices are kind of timeless and they never go away. And that's the beauty of it, is it's something you can always keep close to your heart. So I hope it was helpful to learn about how to create a consistent and actually effective spiritual practice. It's something that's helped me a lot, and I just hope to share it forward with you. And I hope that this helps you figure out what you need to do to help you on your journey. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. I always get a ton of questions in my DMs from people asking how I can manifest X. The truth is, you can really manifest anything as long as it's for the greatest good. And if you're having trouble manifesting something right now, or you feel stuck on your journey, I have a really beautiful resource I've made for you. It's a free quiz. It's called the Manifestation Archetype Quiz. And it's something that I've created so you can find out your manifestation style to give you more clarity on your spiritual journey. After taking the quiz, you're going to receive the best resources for your specific archetype to help you attract your desires based on where you're at and what you want to create. So you can find a link to the quiz in the show notes, or just head to my website at www.affirmation-addict.com. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If this episode resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you could rate and review the podcast and share it on your social media so I know to keep creating episodes that are inspiring you to manifest. I'm so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and I'd love for you to join the community by following @Affirmation Addict on Instagram. To continue diving into spirituality and manifestation, head over to my website, affirmation-addict.com. Until next time, I'm sending you so much love and so much healing energy.